is just around 10:05 on Monday, April 7th. It was a rainy day for us today at the shop, so I decided that it was really time to settle down and do some tax work. And doing some tax work took a lot of time, which meant that the other big task that I had set for myself today, which was um, putting out all those restock books that we did the clearance sale because of, like literally 2.5 boxes of stuff that needed to get put away. I gotta cut my nails. Anyway, yeah, so we did a lot of tax work today and did a lot of restocking, a lot of, let's block that bizarre song picture that I got for my birthday. It's probably one of the weirdest things I own. Here we go, that's much better. Plus, I don't want to get in trouble with, good evening, Doc. I don't want to get in trouble with any copyright holders. Yeah, so did the tax work, put out literally piles of books that I've been saving because I knew that I needed space, so I needed to do a clearance sale. So I was doing a clearance sale to make more space. Definitely was effective in the manga section, which moves a little bit, but moved a little bit more. Not the stacked manga that we have; those did not really move at all. But the shonen that buy two get one free, a little bit more sold, and there were a few sections. There were a few sections that we really freed up a lot of room, and then there were sections where we really did not make a lot of room. The crime section did not get a huge amount of movement, so I couldn't put away a couple of books that I had for crime books. A few things like that, but overall, pretty successful. But it really left me thinking while I was seeing really how little money we made last year, and after it was all reconciled, and seeing how much there is and how much stuff it's possible for us, how the range of books out there. Like, we restocked the Now of Brown. The Now of Brown is a book we should always have, but I literally was able to recommend other books to people who were looking for something like it when we didn't have it. We restocked the Fifth Beatle, and I went to put it on the shelf, and there's just ton. Now, are they as good as the Fifth Beatle? Are they the exceptional work that Vivek did in creating a fictional take on incredibly real events? No, the Fifth Beatle is one of the best Beatles graphic novels, and there's a lot of Beatles graphic novels. Now of Brown is one of the best introspective nerd culture watercolor comics out there. Yeah, there's a lot of those too. And so I thought about it. I was like, well, what are we doing here? Because, my customer Marco came in, and he works over at the Ben and Jerry's. He works over literally right next to us at Ben and Jerry's. Free cone day tomorrow, by the way. Free cone day at all your Ben and Jerry's tomorrow. So if you happen to live on Long Island and we're thinking of going to a free cone day, you should probably go to the one near us and check out our store. But that's kind of my point. Marco came in, and that was a very derailing comment, and I'm not going to respond to it. I will think about it and maybe do a whole episode another time about it. Fascinating. Marco said, yeah, I'm looking for something. I just finished X, Y, and Z, a great graphic novel on Turkish dictator Erdogan, the Turkish dictator. I just butchered his name. I didn't have it in front of me to say it all. Anyway, and he was looking for something also nonfiction, or maybe something that was going to get him to think about something he hadn't thought about. And I thought, is this our legacy? Is this what our store is? Our store is a few dozen people know that you can come in and ask for just any kind of thing and get it. Now, again, it's not just a few dozen. It's 1,000 at this point. We've been around for 12 years. There's lots of people who know it. But a few dozen at a time. Within a few weeks, and I have lots of great customers who they know what they want. They're not looking for, I'm looking for something nonfiction that's maybe going to depress me a little. They go, I'm looking for a superhero book that maybe is similar to this, this, and this. They're much more specific, and that's easier and harder to fulfill for them. But it's not the same as a thing that I think we excel at. I mean, our website's a total disaster. It is so old. But the recommendations on there, I had a customer who a few years ago was giving them out as gifts. He would sign people up for the recommendation. That like I think, and I got responses from these people, and they were really happy with what they got. I think we make good recommendations. I think we have a wide range of stuff, but as we get deeper and deeper into what's probably going to be a horrific recession, we're ordering less and less stuff. We have tons of stock, loads of stock. Like if we had to liquidate our entire store to pay our debts, not a problem. That's how much stock we have. But it has to be good stock. It has to be stock we want. The clearance sale moved a lot of things, but it did not move everything. Anyway, I was thinking all this stuff, and I came home, and I started thinking about a couple of comic shops that I knew that opened around 2017, 2018. And I was wondering how they were doing, and I was going and looking at their sites, and I'm like, wow, these... Now, this is not a metric in any way, but these people have a lot more followers than me. Like, a lot more. And then I thought about these stores, I'm like, of course they do. One of them, Partners and Sons, amazing shop in Philadelphia. Partners and Sons is an art gallery that hosts incredible comic creators right in the heart of the art district in downtown Philly. Yeah, they're going to have more followers than me. They're going to have more exceptional signings than me, obviously. Gutter Pop Comics I think they're in upstate New York. I'm not sure exactly. I want to say they're in Albany, but I'm not positive. I don't think so. They do their own convention, and then 3 other local upstate conventions every year. They do literally 4 major shows a year, one of which they put together for indie creators. Of course they have more followers than me. And I said, yeah, but wasn't that what we were going to be? Isn't that what I envisioned when I thought of the shop? Didn't I want to be that? I definitely wanted to have a lot of art on the wall from big name artists. That was one of the things I loved about Rocket Ship. And then I thought, I don't think that is what I want to be. Like I personally, like me the person, not the shop, me the person, I don't want to go to 4 shows a year and table and sell stuff and shake hands and meet creators. Like I don't. Maybe I did 12 years ago, but I really don't think so. And I don't want to turn my store into an art gallery that I have to completely hang up a new thing 3 or 4 times a year. Oh, Doc, I'm not being down on myself. This isn't about what I do. This is more about like, what do I want to do? What's the goal? I will never not take that compliment. Thank you, Doc. I will never not take a compliment that what I do is amazing as a one-man show. No doubt. It's not really a one-man show. My entire family suffers because of it. So it's like a 1 1/3 man show because they all get a little bit of psychic pain from everything I do. But what are we trying to do? And then I stopped and I thought, I don't think we're trying to do a shop thing. I don't think we want to be known as the shop that encouraged these artists or the shop. I think that my goal always has been to just make people realize how much stuff is in the medium and how wide it is and how much artistry goes into it. And there's a million ways to do that. I kind of stupidly do it one by one. People come in and then I show them things they've never heard of, and then sometimes they come back. And then I show them even more things they've never heard of, and sometimes they come back again and they have heard of all the things I showed them because they've gone into comics more and read a lot more. Sometimes there's years between these visits. One of my favorite stories about the shop, you can go read it, actually. You can just right now go to I think it's either Foursquare or Yelp, and I'm pretty sure it's Yelp. Around 2016, we got this really negative review that we were just a generic shop that stocked not really a lot of anything. The dollar back issues were kind of, and the guy was so disappointed because his friend had told him what a great shop it was. And then in 2019 or 2021, the same person revised their review and they said, I've grown as a comic reader. I've learned a lot more about comics, and this shop is amazing. Now, this person did not come to the shop a lot in between. I do not believe that they were visiting the shop a lot. I didn't teach them about comics. once they had learned more about comics, once they had grown as a reader, they were kind of blown away. What's really interesting for me is watching our college kids this time of year. The college kids come home, sometimes bring their friends in, and they're like, "Yeah, it's a comic shop." Like, because we're one of 5 or 6 comic shops they've been to in their life, but they were in our store when they were 12. They're 22 now. They were in a store when they were 14. Maybe when they were 14, they were coming in all the time. Because I have 10 to 14-year-olds who just come in and like don't talk to me. It's very common. So maybe, and they walk in with their friends. And their friends aren't shocked by what they see in the store, but they're walking around and they go, "Whoa, look at that! Hey, look at that! They make that comic. Oh, I read that webtoon." Excuse me, still not 100%. And that's what we're trying to do. Like, even if they don't talk to me, even if they don't ask me, "Hey, what's this? What's that?" They've been reminded, the neurons have connected, that the webtoon and Calvin and Hobbes and the manga they like, that's all the same thing. Now, they're going to go to another comic shop and they won't have one or two of those things. But yeah, I think that given that I'm a one-man show, 1 man show, given that I'm not a crowd interaction person, I don't even like audiences to speak, like more than like 5 people. I feel very awkward when we used to do signings if it was something where like we had to introduce someone or say something because they were doing a reading. Not for me. I don't mind public speaking, but I don't want to do it. Private speaking, 1-on-1, 1-on-3, I can handle. And that's what I'm gonna do. I'll be a fisher of men, one by one, gathering them in to spread the good word. I don't know. Like, obviously, I'm not putting all my efforts into that. If I was, I was thinking about this. Lave, my 5-year-old, has succumbed to his 12-year-old brother's machinations, and they've moved from Daniel Thrasher videos to Mark Rober videos, and therefore I'm really seeing how these people who have huge YouTube presences, how they work, what they do. Obviously, they didn't start that way, and obviously they have very different goals than I do, the Daniel Thrashers and Mark Robers of the world. But I don't put any kind of effort into this YouTube. Joey's had a video to edit for almost a year. Really, almost a year? I think I gave it to him in September? October? No. Nah. So it's like 7 or 8 months. He hasn't had time to edit. His own life has imploded, and I'm not going and running around looking for another editor. I'm not sitting and recording an hour video about a comic book to be made into a review, because go look at our page. Okay, these things are hashtagged to the gills. They are pretty well edited review videos, and they're not moving, and that's fine. It's absolutely fine. This channel, it's not growing. It gets a few new followers every once in a while. That's not growth on YouTube, but that's fine. Because the main goal is that someone watching this, someone hearing about us, checks out our other social media, sees all the stuff we have, and then they're awakened to how much there is. They watch a video on a Wednesday or a Tuesday, and they go, "Holy crap, they make comics like that?" That's the goal. You can't be a comic journalist. David Harper, God bless David Harper, God bless Heidi McDonald. They are amazing people. But Heidi, the Beat does a lot of news that's not comics to pay its bills, and David has a day job. You'd have to. If I decided to go fully online and just do like a book of the month club, shut down the shop, do a book of the month club, and go get a job, I think we could do a very successful book of the month club. But I'm not going to make money doing that. That's not going to bring in the cash. Joe and I can make merchandise from all the silly things I say on videos and live streams, and once we have the merch, that's where the cash comes from. But at the end of the day, and this is really what I want. My legacy is not making you people realize how many great comics there are. My legacy is my kids. Like, my children matter a lot more than anything I do in the store. So at the end of the day, I already give way too much of my time, effort, and energy to the store in relation to my children, but I have other things that I'd like to do in my life. I'd like to spread the word of comics. And like I said, my children suffer a little for it. They don't get me as much time. They don't get to see me as much. But when I do spend time with them, when I Tirta's off for college for Passover, and she's like, "Can I sing you 4 new songs?" And I'm like, "Yes." Lila stayed late because she has her play practice. Zeke just wrote, and it's so funny because I get so frustrated because Zeke wants me to see everything he does right when he does it because he's 12. But Zeke just wrote a choose your own adventure on like 30 sheets of paper with a whole. He's like, I saw him and he's making this little bubble web, right? Like idea web, and I'm like, what's that? He goes, that's the map of where things go. I'm like, huh, I have one of those at the store. He's like, what? I'm like, do you remember that Ryan North Hamlet, To Be or Not to Be? They have a map of all. He goes, really? So today I brought it home because this kid's got like a brain like no one else's. He needs to be encouraged to continue to think these fascinating things. And I when I was 12, if I thought of making a choose your own adventure, I did not have a limber enough brain. I definitely had entertained the thought because I thought I was going to write when I was a kid, but not to the degree he did. And I didn't make a map of where all the things can go. I brought him the right when he goes, time travel, loop back. And he came home and he hung it on his wall. It's a much more important legacy to me. It's a much more important legacy to me that I can sit with Lave and talk to him about why we like this video or not this video, why he's listening to that or not that, and watch Margot grow up into a person. It's just more important. So, I don't want to turn the store into an art gallery. I don't want to do 4 shows a year, especially not on Long Island. I don't want to put my own show together. I just want to have again, it's a dream. It's maybe an impossible dream, but just have this shop that's just a really damn fine comic shop, like for comics, not for other stuff. Hey, look, when they open next door, it'll be great. You get your Pokemons and your Squishimals, and then you come in for some comics. If they ever open. I had like 3 questions about that today. Anyway, that's my legacy. My damn kids. So, suck it. There's 1,500 of these damn live streams. Maybe that's my legacy. Though, Joe, just want to point out, Joseph, that you only watched 1 video. You want me to save that 1 video you commented on? I'll do that. All right. I do not have a flyer for Free Comic Book Day, which would be a really good thing to have tomorrow when it's Free Cone Day. So I'm not going to do anything about that. I'm going to listen to my daughter sing me some of her new songs. And I'll check in with you tomorrow to look at the new books. Until then, remember, damn it, babies, you gotta be kind.